Hello and welcome to 2 days, 31 days of Q&A, where I post a video answer to a question every day during the month of December. Day 5. For traditional, what medium do you like most? This one is pretty easy. I love watercolor, and I've not been using watercolor for an incredibly long time. I started, as far as paint goes, I started with acrylic paint. And the weird thing about watercolor is I thought that I would always love it. I actually took, it was like a single watercolor class way back in high school. And it was really fun. I really enjoyed it, actually. But what kind of happened was, for a little while, I moved into digital work, and I tried a bunch of other things. So in college, we basically had to purchase markers as part of our art kits. They were Prismacolors. They were just the chisel tip and fine tip ones. They weren't the brush. So between friends and other artists that I talked to, everybody was talking about Copics. So of course I decided that, markers, Copics, everyone uses them. They're for professionals and everything. So I got a whole bunch of those, right? And I had not picked up watercolor yet, at least seriously. And I used markers for a long time. And I found out through this professional artist I looked up to that Copics and markers essentially are not light fast. They're not built to withstand fading over time. And actually this scared the crap out of me, because I had been selling original pieces of my Copic markers and my Prismacolor markers for years. And I looked up the information about this, and they were totally right. It was at a convention called Emerald City Comic Con, and he was sitting next to me, who's painting these gorgeous, gorgeous paintings. It was if you're curious about the artist, it's Daniel Govar, and I'll link him down below. But he talked to me about the watercolors that he was using, and I really fell in love with them so hard because they were such rich, vibrant colors, and I had been used to using really crappy watercolors before that, and I didn't realize that watercolor is one of those mediums where you can't get away with using a cheap version of it. You can't achieve the good look of a watercolor effect with cheap watercolors. You have to get the good ones. And I didn't realize this. So I had a really good time at Emerald City, and I did good enough at that show that I decided to go buy myself a set of professional grade watercolors. And as soon as I started using them, I fell in love. And what happened was I used them much in the same way that I used marker. And I still do. So I kind of didn't need the markers anymore either, because I could achieve pretty much the same effects with watercolor as I could with marker. So I was completely turned from that point on to watercolor, and then I discovered Daniel Smith. There's a Daniel Smith store that's not too far from me. So going in there pretty much cemented my love for watercolors, and that is what I use for pretty much all of my color work now. And I couldn't love it more. I feel like it's such an amazing medium. And there's so much you can do with it, and there's so many different looks you can achieve with it, and the possibilities are endless. Alright, that wraps it up. Thanks so much for watching, everyone, and remember, I am doing one of these every day during the month of December, so if you don't want to miss out, please subscribe, hit the bell icon, and it'll let you know when the next one is up. And if you would like to see even more of what I'm doing, head over to my Patreon, and there's a whole bunch of behind the scenes and bigger paintings that I'm actively working on there, so check it out if that's something you're interested in. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye!